Good outing in Kansas. Just always, anytime you go on the road, it's just different. It feels different. You got to bring your own emotion as a football team, and fortunately, we have a pretty mature team, and we talked about how we had to come out and start fast. I think we did okay. Of course, they got the touchdown drive to open the game, which I think added 6 minutes, to the contest a little bit. Gave them some hope there for a while, but I thought our guys recovered well and got out of there with a conference win. And that's all we were after. Like I said, didn't care how it happened, just had to happen. And so got a good conference win. Had a few people there. Appreciate those people being at the game. Need an outstanding crowd here this Saturday at 11 a.m.
John Warner, Waco Trib. Art, Xavier Howard's really come up some big plays for you lately. Well, how has he improved this year, and what all does he bring back?
He's had some big plays, for the last couple of years, quite honestly. I can flash back to, the pick against K-State. But smart guy, good guy, great person, very quality individual, great player, high school QB, and got good ball skills, and that's usually a separating factor on the defensive side of the ball. If you can find a DB with really good ball skills, and they'll have the potential to make a lot of plays for you because they're going to be around the ball a bunch. And so I think that's kind of what separates him aside from, his physical ability and his stature. He's a big guy. He's probably a little over 6 foot, right at 200 pounds, and can run, and that's a big corner. So that's what we're looking for, and that's why he's kind of our lockdown guy and done well the last couple of years.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Art, in these first 5 games, a lot of times the second stringers have been able to get in the game, get some time. How significant is that, as they grow and develop and eventually, maybe become first stringers someday?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Because everybody talks about chemistry. Another word, I like to use is morale. And where they're hand in hand, I don't know, but you need them both. You need great chemistry, you need great morale, and that allows that to happen. So that's a good thing. And then I think from a recruiting standpoint, guys can look at Baylor and they can say, hey, I may not be a starter, but I might can play, a quarter game. You do that over a 12-game season, and that's what, 3 full games. So that's not all bad if my math is right, and so that's pretty good. And so I think it helps from that standpoint too. But like I've always said, experience you can't buy it. You got to feel it, taste it, and touch it. And we're getting some guys with great experience.
Sean Giggy, News 10 Sports. Coach, 10 years ago, the goal was probably just to get 6 wins, get bowl eligible. You guys are 1 win away from being bowl eligible. Has that thought even crossed your mind with how the program is now?
You better believe it. Yeah, it's still a number 1 priority today. Our first 2 goals go undefeated in non-conference, get bowl eligible. Then we go from there. So it's a huge, fact that's something we feel like we need to accomplish, every year in, year out. Every time we play, you got to be a bowl eligible football team to start with. So that's something we never take lightly, and we're not there yet. So we've got to get to 6, and we'll have that opportunity this Saturday at 11 a.m. McLean Stadium.
Sean J. Arch at Dallas Morning News. Coach, obviously this is a bit of a revenge game for you guys. West Virginia was obviously the team that gave you the loss last year. Is that kind of in your minds going into this weekend and in your preparation?
As silly as it sounds, but really revenge is not something that's even thrown into our vocabulary. If I was asked that on the telephone call earlier today, if there's any revenge, it's on us. We're going to blame them for beating us. It's the way we look at it, it's my fault. It's our fault. We didn't take care of business. They're supposed to try to beat us. That's their goal, and that's everybody's goal every time they step on the field, and that's our goal when we step on the field, to win. So they just did their job, and we didn't do ours. And that's the way it is every Saturday. We'll have that opportunity Saturday to do our job.
Coach John Morris, Baylor Radio. Your offensive line just seemed like it's playing at a really high level. How would you rate these guys as a group, maybe, and the ones you've had here?
We've had some great players. I mean, some great players in our offensive line. I'd hate to single some guys out, but 8 guys flash through my mind that aren't with us right now that have been with us. And so we've had some really, really good football players. As a unit, this might be one of the best, or maybe the best, but the clock's still early. I mean, we played 5 games. We're almost halfway through the season, and really to us, it feels like we hadn't even got started. Because we hadn't really, gone to that passionate level yet. And that's something that we've got to get to as a football team. And I feel like we're getting there. And we've been there for spurts in one game, but over the season, no. So I think when we get to that level, we got 5 guys playing from inside out with a passionate desire to be the best in America, then I think we have the skill level to be the best offensive line we've had collectively.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, you mentioned X being a former high school quarterback. I believe you got, other than the quarterbacks, I believe you got maybe a dozen or more. Is that a case of going after the best athletes, or do you see those guys as being able to kind of move pretty smoothly to another position?
I think it's both, Jerry. I think it's kind of the way the game's evolved at the high school level. I think if you look 20 years ago, everybody's putting their best guy at I back, on offense, and, maybe free safety on defense. I mean, today's game, a lot of people with the spread offenses are putting a guy at QB that can really move around and make plays, keep the ball alive, and then putting them at receiver, and then filtering in at running back and DB. So I think, the mindset's changed from the high school level, which, makes us have to change how we look at, future recruits. And a lot of times the best athlete, at a school will be at the quarterback position in today's game. So that's where we start looking a lot of times. Or all the time, nearly, yes. Yes, sir. Hi.
Hi, Art. Chuck Carlton,
Chuck,
Dallas Morning News. Just wanted to ask you, obviously revenge isn't on your mind against West Virginia, but as you look back at that game last year, how's this team improved from maybe that group that came up a little short in Morgantown a year ago?
Have you lost weight, Chuck? You have, hadn't you? Be honest, yeah. I don't know about that, but looks like you have. But I would say, I don't know. I think time will tell. I think I can answer that question after Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Because going into last year to this game, we felt, pretty good. I mean, we were a 6-0 football team, and we knew we were going into a hostile environment against a really good team because we'd been up there in 12, and we knew what the environment would be like regardless of what time the game started. We knew how the stadium would be, and we weren't disappointed, and but we felt good going in, but we just they just outplayed us. They outcoached us, outplayed us. They did a better job that day than we did. So we'll feel the same way this Saturday. We'll feel good going into the game, and our job is to perform and coach once we get to it.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. I know it's early, but your offense is posting some massive numbers, even for you guys. You've got a collection of running backs and wide receivers that arguably might be the best in the country. How would you compare this group after 5-6 games to other groups that you've had so far on offense?
I think we got a chance to be pretty good. I think the thing that's helping us this year is definitely the defensive side of the ball. We felt like going into the season would be better defensively because we got 9 guys back that won a bunch of football games. So that equates to getting more, touches offensively. And if we get touches on the offensive side of the ball, possessions, then there's a good probability we're going to score touchdowns because of the people we have in our style of play. And so, I think, once again, it's early, Tim, as we know. But, at this stage of the season with the limited amount of, reps that these guys have gotten, 47 reps on Saturday with the first, and, you go back through the season, we hadn't fulfilled many football games, but I think that, we're on pace to be pretty good.
Steve Cook, Sikkim Sports. Coach, what do you see out of West Virginia's offense coming into the game, and what do you expect from them?
Oh, they're good. They're a really good football team. And that I think that goes without saying. They've done a great job when they were in the Big East, and now, being in the Big 12, I think it's their 4th season in the Big 12. and they just got good people, and their staff, Dana and them do a great job. Gibson on the defensive side has really done a really good job for them. They recruit Florida. They get the East Coast kids. When I was at Houston, we recruited the East Coast a little bit. There's some really good big athletes up there, so they got some big bodies that can move around offensively. You mentioned, they got two really outstanding running backs. The quarterback's a good enough run threat that, he adds that dimension to you. They've always, been well schemed and well coached, well schooled, and same thing this year, and same thing defensively. Just a really solid football team.
Hey, Coach Tim O'Donnell, Channel 25 Sports. Corey Coleman is only a touchdown away, I believe, from tying the single-season Baylor record for season. I mean, what has made this season so special for him, in your opinion?
I think just him being him. To us it doesn't feel special. Because, this is kind of what you expect, and that's what you want. Like I've said, predictability is most important ability. So it's not like we're gasping and oohing and awing, when this stuff is happening. This is what we expect to happen, what he expects to happen. And, I just think it's a tribute to him. It's a tribute to our running game. It's a tribute to our defense, and it's a tribute to our offensive line to Seth Russell.
Coach, I know it matters where you're ranked in Week 12, but the fact that you guys are number 2 and have never been there in the history of the program, is that significant to you at this point in the season?
I was asked that earlier, and quite honestly, probably don't look the same, but mentally I feel the same as I did in 2012 when we were unranked. We got to go. We got to go do a job. I think it shows a great perception for our football program in this university in the Big 12. But other than that, as you mentioned, it's at the end that matters. But we are proud that people have noticed and respect us as a quality football team. We are proud of that.
Art, I know you can't control kickoff times, but this will be, including next week, 3 straight 11 a.m.s. Is that hard? Do you prepare any differently for an 11 a.m. kickoff?
Oh, let's go, Jerry. I like it. I like getting up and playing. I've sat around hotel rooms till 8 p.m. It's hard on a jittery guy, to begin with, and I can move around a little bit. So I like it. I like getting up and playing. It's like we tell our players, 11 a.m. on the clock, 3 p.m. the body. It's our job to make sure their bodies are hot and sweaty and ready to go at 11 a.m. And they do a good job with that. And having a mature football team, certainly helps in these situations. So, no, I think it's good. I think it allows them some time in the evening with their families and gives them, a 4 to 6 hour window that you normally don't get during the season. We just need to make sure it's a happy window.
Art, it seems like the defense has really started playing well the last few weeks. What have you seen there that they've kind of reached this level?
I thought, just same thing. Mature guys playing hard, understand the game, the assignments, just taking care of business. We'd like to think that we can have a dominant factor, across the board. And I think with our front defensively, it allows us to, have a physical nature to us that, maybe we hadn't been able to have the last, 2 or 3 years. But we got good people that have played a lot of snaps and they know what they're doing.